now, like, because I grew up in Florida. My teens I graduated in 2002, so all through the 90s, the big grind metal, death metal movement. Like Orlando, I was 3 hours away from it. Like a lot of my first projects after I got past the punk stuff, which I like punk, but the stuff I started doing stuff was like more on the extreme metal side. But I've always had this weird thing where I want to bring other influences in, which was a huge no-no in the 90s. It was either grind metal or death metal. You can't mix them. And then you have my weird ass that's a huge Mr. Bungle fan, trying to bring those influences into metal. And I caught so much shit all the time. But I remember going to watch, one of my favorite bands is Fall at Carnage. They're out of Colorado, and they're like a jazz fusion metal band. Like, they go heavy, but they have these nice jazz breakdowns. Phenomenal artists. And I seen them open up for Cannibal Corpse, and I seen everybody turn around and flip them off. And I'm like, I'm up there like, these guys are amazing. And I'm just like, what is wrong? So, but then, through the years, you had these Spice Icon, Agnostic Front and Anthrax kind of breeds a little bit of the gap in that era too. So it's like that everybody started getting along, which blows my mind now. 20 years later, like, it's so acceptable to everybody to mess genres, when I grew up in an era where it's a no-no. So actually, like, I still get a little bit nervous before I play shows now, especially with the type of music we're writing, which nobody really, we don't fit anywhere. And then we brought in a female vocalist. And so sometimes I still get a little nervous trying to see what the crowd's going to do or what they're going to treat us like. But then I'm like, then I get a fuck it switch. Fuck it, let's just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that happened to I Hate God. Well, we're on that show, and we were direct support before the two touring acts. And I looked out, and, I'm like, man, this crowd would probably eat us alive, because with our vocal switch, Sam makes it sound a lot lighter. So I remember sitting there looking at Wade. I'm like, dude, are we going to paint up? How do you feeling? He's like, I don't know, man. And then finally that switch, like, screw it, dude. Who gives a shit? Let's go out there and play. Like, let's go out there, have fun. They'll appreciate what we put on. And if not, oh, well. And then I remember looking out, and Lefty's is shoulder to shoulder. There's a part where we kind of naturally just swing, and the full crowd's swinging with us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these evil people, like these angry people are appreciating our music. And then I had people come up after us and was just like complimenting on our sound and how unique it was and how different. And I was like, but where's the but? They're like, what do you mean? I was like, normally people come up, since we got Sam, say, we like you, but, or this, but. And then there was like no buts afterwards. There was no asterisks, and it really made me feel good. Like, well, we can win over the I Hate God crowd in the, we index case crowds and all those. So it was, it was me, kind of, I guess maybe not being accepting of a crowd, which is weird because I appreciate everybody, but still, like, what was that saying? Know your audience.
Yeah.
But when you really don't know what your audience is, how do you know your audience? So,
I